So welcome. So tonight's practice, where are we going? I've got a little bit for the shoulders. So if you have any shoulder injuries, just be mindful not to push things too much. But equally at the same time, it can help just open the shoulders. And we're going to start with some breath work to settle in. So we're going to look at the square breath. And I've done this for some of you before. So you imagine a square. And before I say this, if you have any health condition, then, or you've spoken to me about anything, then you don't change your breath. What I'd like you to do is I'd like you to sit in meditation and just enjoy your breath. So that's just before I introduce this one. But it doesn't stop you settling and breathing. So you think about your square and you inhale for a count. So I would say inhale 2, 3, 4. You retain a breath 2, 3, 4. You exhale the breath 2, 3, 4. And then you retain the breath 2, 3, 4. So that's the pattern. I'm going to say, but if you're not keen on it and you suffer from anything, or you're not going to play with the breath, then just take a moment to find that seated position and just enjoy the rise and fall of the inhale and the exhale. So here we go. So we're going to inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. And just take a pause and just allow yourself to settle. And if you're just seated, just noticing, and you're not doing the square breath, just noticing how you are feeling, where that breath is starting from. And then if you want to join me again, you can do. If you want to go back to just a gentle inhale and an exhale, then please do. So we start on an inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Inhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. Exhale 2, 3, 4. Hold 2, 3, 4. And then inhale. Just let the breath just gently rise and fall. How's that feeling? Is that a pleasant breath? Relaxing? Okay. So it's just a tool in your toolbox. When you need a moment just to bring things down, and you can just use a breath. And even if you're not using or holding or retaining a breath, then you can just use the inhale and exhale just mindfully to take your focus to that breath and let things melt away. That's what I was saying to myself this morning at work. It does generally bring your psyche down, because as you tense up, that adrenaline, so what you wanted to do is you just bring oxygen back and just calm things down. So we're going to just take a moment to just release the neck. So we're going to drop the chin to the chest. See, I told you like the beginning of this class. And just bring that chin to the chest. Just feel that length through the back of the neck. And then we're going to take our nose and we're going to just draw a half moon all the way across to one side. Breathing in your own time, with your own movement, and then come back to center and take to the other side. Just allowing yourself to gently and very slowly go back and forwards. Make sure you don't get dizzy. And we're going to bring ourselves back to center. Take a moment just to pause, bring your focus back into the room. And we're going to take the right arm and we're going to just lift it. Now, I was mirroring last night. Jen, you're opposite me. Corey, if I lift my right arm, I think you're going to end up opposites, okay? Because we're in it's nice big circles. So inhaling your right arm up. And then you're going to take your right ear to your right arm and gently just drape that hand. Now, the idea is that you are just using the weight and you're not pulling the neck. Inhaling and exhaling just to suit. Releasing gently, bring the head back to center. Inhale the opposite arm. Take the ear towards that arm, just as if you're just about to cradle it. And then just take a moment just with that stretch. Release gently and let that neck just come all the way back up. And we're going to take the shoulders all the way up to the ears and just gently draw the shoulder blades down. You might wish to keep the chin down or you might wish to keep the gaze up to you. We're going to interlace the fingers behind us and we're going to draw the knuckles gently down, open the chest. Maybe the gaze comes up, maybe it stays forwards. Bring the hands forwards, tuck the chin in, opposite palms away from you. And all the way back to center. We're going to come all the way now to a child's pose. It's not quite yin, but you are going to, don't be lulled. I am going to go into a little bit of flow, but it's a nice flow. So I'm going to come into a wide child's pose, wide-legged child's pose, and I'm going to just drop forwards. I'm going to just soften the shoulders when I come down. Bringing the forehead to the mat. Maybe gently rolling the forehead on the mat. Bringing the hands across to one side. Now you can stack the hands one in front of the other, or you can just bring one hand off the mat and just allow a stretch through the body. Whatever's comfy for you. Coming to the opposite side when you're ready. And walk the hands towards you. Now the next pose, we're going to go into a puppy pose. So it's fine for everybody. If you've got any shoulder issues, then you can soften the hands. So in puppy pose, we keep the knees underneath the hips and we walk the hands forward. Now, if you've got shoulder issues, take one arm and cross it, okay? So we're in this like kind of quarter pose. That allows you, if you don't have a watch on, to put your head on the back of your hand or wrist, but it softens the shoulders. So if you're finding that quite tight in the shoulders, then allow yourself that space. Allow yourself to sink towards the mat, chest just opening. And gently rise all the way up to tabletop position. We're going to bring hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath, and tuck the toes if you want to. And just take some time here with cat-cow. So inhaling to cow. And just take, if you want to take this and circle into a moving cat-cow, you can do. It might be that you're just enjoying that kind of rest, just back and forwards. You can even take the hands off to one side with this and cat-cow towards the side. So just generally working with what feels right for you. That might be some shoulder rolls, it might be some twists, whatever is comfy, just starting to move the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to gently move ourselves to downward facing dog. So we're going to give ourselves space, tuck the toes, lift the hips all the way high, and just take a moment in downward facing dog just to walk this pose. Starting to think about that base pose, starting to think about the hands pressing into the mat. The forearms moving towards each other. The lower ribs just drawing themselves up, kind of starting to use the belly towards the spine, bending the knees, lifting the sit bones. And then allowing just weight into the back of the legs as well. Allowing the neck to just relax. And then we're going to walk gently towards the top of the mat, all the way to a forward fold, bringing the weight over the feet. And you can, if you want, keep the hands towards the mat, or you can interlace the fingers gently behind you and just allow the arms just to lift. Whatever's comfy for you. And then we're going to sweep forward to chair, to Utkatasana, sinking at the knees, sinking at the ankles. Excellent. All the way up, upward salute. Hands come up high. Gaze might be towards the thumbs, and then bring the hands all the way to the heart. Hands to mountain. We're going to just I'm going to give myself a little shake because I'm still cold. I've been cold today. So, you know, when you get cold and you start to get a little bit stiff. So just because I've been sitting, we've got the fire on and I am not putting the heating on yet. I know. Got one of those little fans that pushes the heat through the house. Does actually work, but yeah, we shall see. So we're going to just flow all the way through and then we'll play with some other flows as well. So we're going to inhale, lift, and exhale if you want to fold down the midline to Uttanasana. Ardha Uttanasana. So we have our lovely straight length in the back from the base of the spine to the crown of the head. We're going to place the hands and we're going to jump all the way to plank. We're going to bring ourselves all the way up to downward facing dog. Step all the way or hop or float to the top of the mat. Sunburst the arms out to the side, lift all the way up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, jump to plank. All the way to downward facing dog. Step or hop to the front of the mat, sunburst all the way up. Hands to the heart. Inhale, upward salute. Hands might come down the midline, out to the side if you wish, all the way to fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, place the hands, step to plank or hop. And from here, either take a wee child's pose or knees down, And take a little vinyasa, whatever suits you. Meeting in downward facing dog. And take a moment in downward facing dog here. Now we're going to just work through a little sequence. So we're going to come from downward facing dog to hovering cat. So up onto the tiptoes and then sink the knees towards the mat, coming into a little hovering cat position. Excellent. Keep the gaze down towards the thumbs. Push the hips all the way back up and take the left leg all the way through to little fallen triangle just to start. So it's a little kind of side plank variation here. Right hand comes back, left foot's going to come to tripod, all the way up to tripod. Keep that breath moving. Bring the foot down, walk the hands towards the back of the mat. So you're coming to Uttanasana. Take your left foot and step it behind the right foot and take a little side stretch off the mat through the hip. Excellent. And then we're going to walk that leg all the way back, walk the hands forwards, come all the way back to downward facing dog. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop to the front of the mat to forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. And gently pushing into the feet, softening the knees, engaging the core. We're going to sweep all the way up. And then hands are going to come to the heart. From here, the left foot's going to lift. We're going to come to a warrior three. Stepping back gently to a high lunge. Move that right foot if you need. Lifting to high lunge. Dropping the left hand, just opening. Just an open pose here. All the way back up to high lunge. And then either take a vinyasa or a child's pose. Whatever suits. We're going to meet in downward facing dog. Take a moment in downward facing dog with the breath. And then we're going to come up and over to hovering cat. So we use the toes and we hover the knees. Now it's going to be our right leg now. As we push all the way back up, we're going to take that right leg out to the side, slide it through and open up into a little fallen triangle on the other side. Hand comes down to support, right foot goes up into tripod. Bring that foot down, walk the hands towards you to the back of the mat, and then take that right foot and slide it behind you. So you're almost in like a side stretch here. It's just a little hip stretch. Bit difficult if you're so close to the radiator. All the way back to center. So you're back to that forward fold, walking the hands forwards to downward facing dog again. Take a breath here. Bending the knees, look forward. So you might hop to the front of the mat. Into Uttanasana to forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Sweep as you come down, sweep the hands all the way up. Hands to the heart. Now working that right hand side, we now come to warrior three on the other side. So the right foot's lifted. I think. And then all the way back, just confuse my sides, all the way back to high lunge, whatever side you weren't doing. That's right, yes. Right hand is going to come behind you. Sweep all the way back up. And then come all the way down, either vinyasa or come to a child's pose. If you're taking a vinyasa, then meet everyone in child's pose at the end. Take your time. And then just bring your hands all the way up. So we're just upright, and give your wrists a wee rub or take a sip of water if you need. Starbursting the hands is quite a nice thing to do. So you get the kind of movement in the hands. We're going to go through that little flow again. I'm just going to talk you through the flow so I can have a wee look. How are people feeling with wrists and things? Are you all okay? Do you want to do a standing flow and come back to that one? Are you all right? Because that is heavy on. Just remember, when you're in your downward facing dog, or you're using your, or you're in hovering cat, or you're supporting yourself to come into tripod, it's that clawing. So don't forget your base and allow the weight to go into the back of the hand. Think about that clawing so that you're trying to get those knuckles underneath and the fingertips, and then that suction into the mat so that you can see there's a slight lift. Okay, it's lots of big. Anybody a spider fan? There's lots of big spiders at the moment, and they've got it right. They obviously stick to everything. That's the only thing they have right. There was one I couldn't get today. It scurried underneath the dog bed and then went underneath the sofa. But they've got that kind of spider hands. So, right. So we're going to come to downward facing dog. So I'm just going to talk you through this 1 second, watch folk. So just find that base position, just allowing yourself to come to downward facing dog. And just come to that base pose, inhaling and exhaling. And you can come up and over to hovering cat. So drop the knees, hovering the knees. That's it. Gaze just between the hands down towards the thumbs. That's it, or long towards the front of the mat. And then to come into fallen star, you're going to just push back up to downward facing dog to give you that space to draw your left leg all the way through to the opposite side, and then open up. It's really nice, Amanda. That's lovely. My goodness, there's some lovely shapes. Coming all the way forwards, right hand comes down, that left leg kicks all the way up to tripod. Keep the weight even in the hands. And then gently bring that foot to the ground. And then walk the hands all the way back towards you. So you can come to a forward fold. And in this forward fold, make sure you're comfy. Make sure your weight is over your feet. If you've got any tension in that lower back and it's just not feeling brilliant, bend those knees as much as you need. That's it. And bring your belly to the spine and support yourself. That's it, Liska. That's brilliant. Just take the ease. Just take some sukha into the pose. Inhale, flat back. So we want length from the spine. We want chest gently open. We want the arms gently pushing into the legs. Feel that grounding in the feet. And then exhale all the way back down to forward fold. As you come down now, walk yourself all the way forwards to downward facing dog. Take a moment in downward facing dog. And then your choice, you can step gently all the way up the center of the mat to the front, or you can take a hop or a jump or a float or whatever you like to get there. And then very gradually, your choice, you can either come up with a roll up, or you can just hinge at the hips and push yourself up. Excellent. All the way up to standing. Now bring the hands to the heart. Really connect the hands to the heart. So really think about the heels of the hands as we do opening and broadening the shoulders. And that's going to give you the support. We're going to come into warrior three. Remember, you don't have to push that back leg really high up. Okay, just hover it on the back of the mat if you're not keen on lifting or you've got any issues with the spine. So you're going to take your left leg now and you're going to lift that up into your warrior three. Really thinking about your focal point, engaging that core, allow yourself to support that pose. And then very gently step that back foot all the way back as you inhale all the way up to high lunge, crescent moon. Think about engaging the pecs. Think about little pinkies and just gently as if you're pushing a big block through the air. Now drop that left hand all the way to the back and just allow yourself to open up. Sweep the hands all the way back up high. Hands to the heart. Now step your foot all the way forward. So you're now all the way back to the front of the mat. Sweep the hands all the way. Inhale, lift. Hands all the way to the heart. And we're going to bring our right foot now into warrior three opposite sides. So draw your right foot all the way up. Bring yourself into warrior three on the other side. Virabhadrasana 3. Use that core, not to lock, but to support. Push through the heel. And then gently step all the way back to high lunge. Inhaling the arms up high. Excellent. Allowing yourself space. The gaze can be up or the gaze can be forwards on the neck, whatever's comfy. Find a drishti. Take a moment here and then drop your right arm now all the way to the back, opening to the side. Sweep the hands all the way back up. Taking a moment here, lifting up high. Hands are going to come all the way down to the heart and then step forwards all the way back to mountain. Just allow yourself to find that connection, find that grounding of the earth, and then back to mountain. Well done. That was lovely to watch. I wasn't being lazy. It's just really nice to be able to observe, and I would have come and moved a few of you, but you've just all done that really, really well. How did that feel? How's warrior three feeling for everybody? It's just working. It's just that balance, isn't it? Just allowing that kind of, to just change the pose as you want to. Right. Where should we go? I'm not going to do a circular flow, but I am going to use the length of the mat. So it doesn't matter whatever way you're facing, but you're probably going to end up, this is going to be a classic Tanya yoga flow. I think I'm going to bring a moon flow into it. So are you warm enough, Sally, there? Yeah, sure. Switch it off if you, yes, switch that off if you, this one's not on because it's not working. You're very close to it, so, but it was freezing when I came in here earlier. I did that the other day. All the best ladies wear the vest inside out. It's not as bad as, yeah, I'm always, the lines thing, that confuses my brain in the morning sometimes when I change. It's cracking watching. But I'm with you on there. So it's just trendy. You can wear it twice. You can wear it again tomorrow. Is that not what the boys do? Right, where are we going? We're going for moon flow. Right, so I'm going to go across my mat here. So you might want to either switch your mat or just turn, doesn't matter. Okay, so wherever you are, yes, you'll all end up different ways. You can say hi. It's a really nice way to get to know everybody. So let's go, Jen, Christian, you know, folk. So here we go. So we're going to interlace the thumbs. And as we interlace the thumbs, we're going to open the front body. We're going to inhale, lift all the way up. And just feel that opening through the front body. Now, feel the grounding into the heel as well. And then in the balls of the feet. And then we're going to inhale and we're going to exhale forwards to the left. So you're going to come across into a little side fold. Now you can breathe here. Just use your Ujjayi breath if you wish. Inhaling all the way back up. And exhaling across to the other side. Enjoy this stretch. So breathe into this stretch. Inhale all the way back up. And exhale, hands are going to come either side into a big star shape. And then as we come into the star shape, we're going to step our feet out into star, 5-pointed star. Toes are going to face outwards gently. Really allow yourself to push into the heels. Think about your alignment. So in line, opening the shoulders. So alignment just doesn't help us with protecting our joints and our practice, so we're not doing repetition over and over again when we're not aligned correctly. But it also helps us with our strength. So we're going to push into the heels, which just allows us to engage the muscles in our legs, push into the ball joint and the edge of the toes. As we do, we're going to sink down to goddess. Is that hurting? Sorry, shake the arms. Shake the arms. We're going to move in a moment. Inhale all the way up to that star working. Now we're going to come across the left-hand side into a fold towards the left leg. On an exhale, soften the knee if you wish. Allow the head to fold. Crown of the head towards the mat. And then inhale, push into the feet as we lift all the way back up, 5-pointed star. Exhale across to the other side. Just allow yourself a breath here. Now this right foot that we're just all folding over, we're going to turn it to the short edge of the mat, coming into a runner's lunge pose. So you're going to be facing different directions again. It's absolutely fine. Drop that back knee and we're going to come to low lunge, crescent moon. Anjaneyasana. Inhaling, lift up. As the hands come towards the hips and towards the mat, you're going to bring that right knee and it's going to match the left knee as we sweep back and draw ourselves into that baby camel pose. So just that transition. We're going to sweep all the way to child's pose. Take a breath. Bring yourself with the right foot all the way forwards, back again to that runner's lunge. Lift that back knee, stretch through that back leg, and then walk the hands to your left-hand side to the long edge all the way back. So we're now in a wide fold. Bring the toes in the wide fold, and then allow yourself to bring the head down. Support if you need, use a block if you don't want to come too close or you need a little bit of height. That's it. Brilliant. Bring the hands all the way back up, gently pushing through the heels. Turn the toes gently out. Draw the hands to the hips. Lift all the way up. Inhale, 5-pointed star. Exhale, fold to the left-hand side. Soften the knee if you wish. And then turn that left foot, now the other short edge of the mat, into a runner's lunge. Drop the back right knee. We're coming to low lunge, crescent moon. Inhale, lift all the way up. And this is a little flow movement. We bring that left foot towards the back of the mat, the left knee and the right knee match. I sink the hips a little bit to sweep the hands back and all the way up. So we're using just that opening of the front body. Sweep all the way to child's pose. Take Balasana. Inhale and exhale in this pose. Bringing that left foot all the way forwards back into runner's lunge. Lifting that back knee, taking the gaze forwards. Walk the hands all the way towards the edge, long edge of the mat. So we're back in that wide fold. Bring the feet in. That's it. Excellent. And allow, if you want, the head to come towards the mat. If you want to, you can take an alternative with the arms here. You can take them behind you, interlace the fingers. Allow the crown of the head to come towards the mat and the arms to rise, only if you want to. Gently release the arms, bring them to the mat, turn the toes out slightly, and gently draw yourself all the way up, sinking eventually back to goddess pose. With the knees in goddess pose, see if you can turn. That's why we turn the feet out, the knees, that's it. You might just, that's it. Tuck the tailbone under, brilliant. And palms facing forwards, lovely. Hands come to the heart, push through the heels and step toe or hop to the center of the mat and turn yourself all the way to the front. A stretchy moon flow. And I did it again to you. You've seen the back of the hall, you've seen the sides of the hall. It's great. Just a different view. I totally encourage you to play with creative flow at home and just do what feels right with your body. So up into mountain again, into Tadasana. Excellent. Inhale, sweep upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Allow yourself to fold gently. Inhale, flat back. We're going to step to plank. So bring the hands gently. Now, while you're here in plank, and you can always bring the knees down to support this or not, see if you can take a little balance with the right hand gently coming out in front of you. Now, if you need to keep the core protected or the shoulder protected at all, bring the knees down and just soften the pose if you wish. Try it with the left hand. Can you keep your balance forwards and left hand come out to the front? Just add a little core challenge for you. Push all the way up to downward facing dog. And then come all the way to hovering cat. Take a moment from hovering cat here. We're going to draw the hips all the way up high. Left foot's going to come all the way to fallen triangle. Opening up into a little side plank. Hand comes all the way back. Lift that left leg to tripod. And now stack and open that hip if you wish. That left foot's now going to come all the way forwards to lizard. So we're going to bring it forwards into lizard. A little bit of a hip opener going on now. You can choose your modification here. You can stay here, or you can just open the hips slightly if you want to. We're not going to be here for too long. And then draw yourself all the way back to plank. Bring the knees down and take a moment in child's pose. So wide-legged child's pose if you wish. And just allow yourself to settle. Just observing how you feel. Moving yourself all the way up to downward facing dog gently. Coming up and over to hovering cat. Pushing yourself back up to downward facing dog. Now with the opposite foot, you're coming over to fallen triangle on the opposite side. That's your right foot through. And now coming all the way back, you're going to bring that right foot all the way up to tripod. In tripod, you're very welcome to bend the knee and bring the heel across. Keep that weight even in the hands and try and actually keep your hips facing forwards. That right foot's going to come all the way to lizard. Can you step it through to the outside? With some hoiking is allowed. That's absolutely fine. Opening if you wish. You can always drop that back knee down to soften this pose. If you just want a softer pose, then just allow that space. Stepping all the way to plank. And in plank, the hips stay down. That's it. So brilliant. So you bring that front body all the way up into the back body. And then either take a vinyasa or a child's pose. Just take a moment. When you have taken a moment, wherever you are, either come down to child's pose and bring yourself all the way back up so that you're just sitting on your heels, if that's comfy for your knees. And take a sip of water and sort yourself if you want. We're going to just work from here. So we're going to look at cow face. So if it's not comfy for you, then sit and find an alternative. So it might be that you're just sat on your block and you're not on your knees. So wherever is comfy for you. Also, you can put a blanket or cushion behind the legs and the heels to soften. So just to give you options there. So we're going to take the right hand all the way up and the left hand is going to come out to the side and then turn so the palm is facing behind you and slide that up the back. You don't have to catch the arms if you don't want to, or you can't. Depends on how stretchy or what you've been doing. So just the idea is that we're opening through the chest and we're inhaling and exhaling. We stretch all the way out, swap the hands, other side, turning that palm so it comes all the way in. So what that does, that allows us to rotate our arms in a way that they are more likely to touch. Having said that, my left side is not happening today. Goodness me. I didn't take a movement break today. I took a painting break. So it's my new movement break. It's probably not quite as good for you. All the way up, we're going to stretch all the way out. And then bring the hands all the way behind you. Chin all the way to the chest. And then we're going to come all the way to the center of the mat into standing. Now, if you have a block, we're going to come to Garudasana. We're going to play with eagle. I must be in a real hatha frame of mind this week because you've had slightly different practice to what I normally have here. So, but we're dark outside, so maybe that's what's happening. I have no idea. So Garudasana, I'm going to give you some options here. So you can bind the legs and you can bind the arms together. That's absolutely fine. If you're not keen on doing both, remember, if you've got a block, when you sink down into this pose, you can just step the foot onto the block. Or don't need the block, you haven't got a block, and just step it onto the mat in front of you. Okay, so it just gives you a little bit of an option. With our arms, if your shoulders are feeling quite tight and you're not wanting to bring them together and wrap the arms, what you can do is just hug the arms. Okay, so it's still doing the same sort of thing, but it's just a little comfier on the shoulders. So you modify to suit yourself. Whatever side you want to start on, feel free. Off-piste. I'll allow you right or left. It's 50-50. Not much choice that I'm giving you, but you know. So to get into Garudasana, we're going to sink at the knees and we're going to wrap one of the legs in front of the other. And if you can, then just tuck those toes round. Hands to the heart can be really, really useful. Now, opposite arm and leg wrapping. I've got my right leg wrapping. So I'm going to take my left arm underneath. Vicky would have been proud of me there. I didn't get my arm and my leg muddled. And this is at the point where if you want to use that block or you just want to stand in Tadasana, so the other way of doing it is just standing in Tadasana. You can do, if it's not comfy on the arms, you can bring them into a wrap. Just lifting through that front body, taking the drishti, if you wish, to the feathers, unraveling, drawing the hands, unraveling the feet, and then wrapping on the other side. So we sink into this pose to just wrap the legs, allowing yourself. So do wrap slowly. And if you find that you're kind of playing with the hands and they're like kind of bending, just wrap once. So Corey, if that's not, that's it. So that you're not just forcing the wrists into places where they don't look very comfy. And just keep that length in the spine, keep the pose. That drishti towards the hands. Unraveling and take the hands wide. Sweep, inhale, lift. And hands all the way to the heart. Using your right leg, I'm just off on one, so I'm just going to check the time. Here we go again. We're going to do warrior 3 and choose your choice. Play with warrior 3 and you could hands to the heart, or you could use eagle arms with warrior 3. Or you can use your balance arms or your hands forwards. So we're just going to use our focus here to think about wrapping and coming into Virabhadrasana 3, allowing that length through the body, whatever you feel comfy with. If you're pushing through the heel, then allow the toes to come down towards the mat. That's it, Laura, that's better. Your foot was out to the side, but you were pushing through the heels. That's better. Doesn't need to be that you're rising up high and then gently all the way, come all the way. Play on the other side. So wrapping on the other side, coming into kicking the wall and the window and allowing yourself to sink. Concentration, that balance. That quietness, that stillness of the mind with the breath. And then gently coming all the way up. We're going to come all the way down to the mat. If you want to, you can just sink towards the mat, or you can take a little malasana as you go into a squat pose, as long as your knees are happy with that. And then draw yourself all the way. And we're going to come low. So you can, there's alternatives here. You can just work gently here, and you can work with a gentle twist back and forward, so you can keep upright if you wish, which is actually a nice, try it. So gentle twist is just releasing tension in the spine. And it might be that you're working with boat pose here and you might want to play with some balances. I notice there's a few blocks in here. Small children are also quite useful for this. I was a teacher once. You can play with kind of movement and blocks. I quite like using this. It takes your mind off the fact that you're actually, don't do it too quickly. It's easy when you do it too quick. I know, spotted. Or you can just use the hands. I wasn't planning on doing this, but it's a really good thing just to add in a little bit of a core play. And you can always come up into Baddha if you want to. Might be nice for everybody, just a little bit of a hip opener. And when we're supporting, when we're in a seated pose and we are supporting our body weight, you're very welcome to allow your spine to round and for you just to take a moment here. Just with the breath. And then gently, we're going to come either to your back. You might want to come to your back and then do supine twist. But the other thing I'm going to show you is that you can do it seated as well. So you can use your thumbs to support, and we are working. So if you're starting to chill, then just put some layers on. So you can either come to your back and you can do the constructive rest pose. You can do it seated as well, which is slightly different. But it just allows you those windshield, and you can get, I quite like this because I can get a nice twist into my lower back, but it might be that you prefer it with the spine being supported and you're rolling back and forward. So whatever is comfy for you, take this opportunity to maybe have a rock and roll, draw up and down the mat. Take just that moment. You might even want to play. You might be playing with reverse pigeon. You might have fun. Might be in a supine twist. Just whatever suits you at the end of the practice. And then as we start to just wind down, please do make sure that you are not getting too cold. So we're going to come towards Shavasana, or you can come into a seated pose. So take a moment to get comfy. I've not seen Ingrid's Scandi socks yet, but they're not them, are they? No, they're very nice though. They're lovely. Ah. So coming down, or if you're comfy, just seated, just take a moment to allow yourself to completely relax. Allow the body to settle. That might be that you're just shuffling the shoulder blades. And if you're in Shavasana, Or even if you're unseated, just aware where the body is being supported. Start to allow maybe the backs of the heels, or if you're unseated, the sit bones, just to feel that they're really connecting. Excuse me. Sorry, I've done it again. Choking again, sorry. Allowing the spine to lengthen, shoulders to relax. The breath to rise and fall naturally. Softness, a natural breath. Awareness, maybe the air above you. Sorry. Gradually bringing your awareness just to that rise and fall. Bringing your awareness to your fingers and to your toes. Taking an